So, good evening to everybody who's going to be joining me tonight. And for those of you who are listening, hello, Miss Karen. And for those of you that are listening to replay, I'm going to say greetings to my angel light workers. Light workers are people who have had difficult lives, but have come here to help as many people as possible. So you will find you as a light worker, you had a difficult past, but it's all, remember, the more lessons you have and the more experience that you are striving towards soul perfection, which remember only exists on the other side. So you guys don't give that up. Please. I know that life can be so rough sometimes, but kindness is key. Remember karma. When you are kind to others, remember that comes back around. I know it sounds like a selfish reason to do something, but sometimes stress and anxiety can be so overwhelming that you just kind of keep it simple and be like, no, 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 put out kindness, kindness comes back. Put it out, it comes back. Put out nastiness, that comes back also. And I don't know, when you're having enough issues, the last thing you need is some nastiness. Throw some more nastiness in there. So, okay. Um, I did want to say again, too, that all of you are intuitive light workers, AKA the black sheep. You guys, I really like that name better as a club, but we'll see. Okay. I do animal communications. With my animal communications, I do animal communications and coaching with them. And, I automatically assume that people know what I do and how I do it. And that's really wrong of me to do that. But I can tell you, I saw a horse yesterday morning, and my way is, I mean, God love her. The young lady kept saying, okay, tell Janie what you're thinking and this and that. And it's like, no, it's not like it is with humans. With animals, it's telepathy. It's mostly telepathy. But also, like with the horse, it's kind of neat. Like, just quietly walk up and down the stall. You look at the others, and I hear them. I know what they're all saying to each other. So that's how it is. It's kind of like being a weird intruder. You know what I mean? But they know that I can hear them and stuff. But I get a lot of information that way from, like, just walk in and listening to what the others say. And then the horse that I'm there to see tends to um, lighten up. But anyway, it is, horses are phenomenal. And for any of you who like feel anxiety with children, horseback riding lessons, I highly recommend that. Horses are giant creatures. I mean, 1,000 pounds, and because I'm standing there, like, I had my hands on his face, and I'm like, you could really run me over right now, probably kill me. But then it's like they're so wonderful, and they really get it anyway. And you guys, that's the same way with all of the animals. Animals are phenomenal. And again, I emphasize, when you have a session with me, bring your animals in the room, because healing will occur. My goal is to start an office. That is my goal. I'm really shooting for that, because I really prefer the in-person sessions and the hands-on sessions. I'm kind of old-fashioned that way. You guys, to schedule your session with me, just send me a text to either Facebook Messenger or janiedaily@gmail.com. Subscribe. It's free. Hit like, share, and you can write messages to me. Also, if you have any ideas for any topics that you would like covered, let me know. Send me that message or send me a text, and we'll make it fun. Even like, fun is important. Tonight it's going to be kind of fun, a little different. But again, remember, your sixth sense is your cell phone from God. That's your communication, your direct communication. And I have something that happens to me that I'm going to share with you tonight that shows you how the sixth sense works with the other senses. And it is your cell phone to and from God. Nobody else is involved in that. Honest, it's not a religious thing. It goes along with your other senses. And I don't think any of them are religious. So, anyway. So here we go. I am titling my show, for those of you who have taken my classes, I'm kind of keeping it Angel Spirit Guides in the Paranormal, because it's life. It's my real life. I've lived like this my whole life, and I'm hoping that you guys too, by following me, that you're gonna open up more and have some great experiences. Okay. The one let me share the one, since I was talking about the sixth sense. So long time ago, used to work at Jimmy Seafood in Dundalk, Holabird Avenue. And I was a waitress on the bar side. It has like the bar side and the restaurant side. And it was rough, but I had left my ex, and my baby was like 3 months old. So I found a wonderful lady, but I had to take my kids to her home, which meant after work, when I got off of work at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, I had to go to her home and pick up my children and then take them back. At the time, I was living in Essex in a townhouse. So, yeah, and I worked like 5 nights a week, pretty much. So it was a little crazy, but you know what? You do what you have to do. And here's the other thing too. Kindness is so important. Be kind to yourself. Anyway, so this one particular night, what I used to do was, since I had two girls, I would take one up. I would take the baby up first. But I would lock the car door, go in the house, lock the door at the house, take one child up, put her in bed, hurry up, come down, unlock, get the baby out, come up, make sure I lock the townhouse door, go upstairs, get them both, undressed, and they were in their pajamas, put the coats and stuff up, and get them in bed. This one particular night, because I would talk silently, whispering to the kids. But this one particular night, I heard my doorknob slightly turning, very, very lightly, to the point of like, what was that? I mean, I actually, because I used to talk to my friend who was like, she worked a late shift too, so we would sometimes chat. So I called her. I go, Deb, I think I heard like somebody out at the doorknob. But I went down and I didn't see anything, And she's like, you should just call the police. And I was like, yeah, I feel like I should too. But you really think so? I mean, she's like, Jeannie, if you heard it, you heard it. So call the police. Thank God I did, because the guy had left my front door and was going over and trying to open up my slider in the back. And the police caught him there. But it was amazing to see, because the doorknob that I had was so quiet. There's no way that anybody would have heard that, especially upstairs, especially when I have two little ones and we're like talking. I mean, yeah, Grant, we're still like whispering like that, but still, it's loud. But it was like God put high pitch volume on that doorknob, on that sound. So there's no other explanation for that, because, there's no other explanation other than God was watching over us. But again, sixth sense, it works with the other senses. There's also something else, which I feel like some of you have experienced this. So when I got Ellie was very strong and crazy. She pulled me so hard. And like when you're ready to fall, like you're gonna fall. you're going down. And all of a sudden, it was like someone was there, an angel was there, and kind of caught me and pushed me back up. You guys think about that and see if that's ever happened to you. A lot of people will have it when they're going down the steps. They're getting ready to fall, and they pretty much have accepted the fact that they're going down, but an angel steps in and stops you. It's just kind of pay attention to that kind of stuff. Don't get so involved in bad things in life that you miss all the good stuff, because there are so many good things that happen. And then funny things like this little true story. So, you guys, I started selling real estate in my early 20s, and I only had the one daughter, my oldest daughter at the time. So, I started working for Grempler Realty, and I used to live like right on Frankfurt Avenue in this big single house. They're all old houses, but it was really nice neighborhood. It's like all the neighbors knew each other. It was very nice, and it was a nice, spacious house. But the street that we went on, I think it was, oh, what was the name of the street, Karen? Karen, you found it for me. I forget the name of the street. I think it was Anthony Avenue. I think it was Anthony Avenue. Okay, so there's a bunch of streets in that area, and again, I do believe it was Anthony Avenue. But what I used to do is I used to go and preview the houses, and I remember, like, if I'm at the top of the steps, at the top of the street, I mean, um, the house was on the right hand side, and it was a bungalow. So I have the key. I go to open it, and I can't. I cannot get in the door. And I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. So the guy next door comes out, and I said, hey, I could not for the life of me get in. So he's like, yeah, I can help you. So he comes over and he opens the door, easy peasy. So I was like, sorry about that. I guess it's just me and keys. So, and okay, so he let me in, but we both heard somebody like upstairs. I was telling the story, like going over it, and I was forgetting it, but we both heard something upstairs. And he's like, that's weird. Nobody should be here because nobody lives here. I go, huh. And what does he do? Well, let me know if you need anything. And he left me. Thank God I have no fear. Anyway, so, but I didn't really pay too much attention because I knew it said it was a vacant house and there's no furniture. So, I mean, and I couldn't get in. So how could like somebody homeless get in? Well, that's a dumb question. But anyway, so I start looking around, but then I do go upstairs and there was no one there. There was no one. And there was no signs, because sometimes like in vacant homes, you'll find where like homeless people do break in and they'll sleep there and you see some evidence of it, but nothing, not a thing. I mean, if anything, the one door that faced the street was closed more, whereas the others were open. And that's where we heard the running. It was kind of like somebody was at the top of the steps and heard the door turning and then heard it open and ran down the hallway. But there's nobody there. So, and of course, me, I'm like, hey, I'm packing. I am packing. Don't mess with me. Come out and show yourself. And there was no person. I checked in closets, nothing. Anyway, and you guys too, with these homes, remember, they didn't really have closets. Remember, you had the wardrobes in these rooms. Anyway, so I'm looking around and I was like, this really needs a lot of work to it. I don't know if this couple's going to like this home. So, but I felt really weird in the house. I didn't get a good feeling at all. So when I go down the stairs, And I'm like, down the hallway, you go down the hallway into the kitchen, and then you go to the right, and then you can go dining room, living room, then come back out again, and you're at that hallway and the front door. So I'm going down and I'm looking at everything, but I'm in the living room and I got like chills. But I was just like, but I didn't know why. I had no idea. So, I mean, I've always been intuitive, but I didn't really always pay too much attention because I was like, oh, everything will be fine. It's always fine. Um, so I go ahead and I leave, and I'm going to leave the house. And all of a sudden, I felt like I wanted to turn around and look inside the window again. So I did. I look into the living room. In the center of the carpet in the living room is blood. And then I see an older lady laying on the floor, obviously dead. So I was like, wait, what? I was just there, you know? So, you know, when you stand up and you're like, what the heck? And then you look again and it's gone. The vision is gone. So I go to get the neighbor. And you guys, it's called an imprint. And that's when something really bad happens, it kind of stays there. It stays there. It stays within the essence of the home. And the gentleman next door said that the lady had been murdered. And apparently murdered, they're thinking either by the son or the husband. But yeah. So it was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, that's when I started to really like, okay, all right, I need to start paying attention to this stuff because this stuff is serious stuff. Because when they asked me about the house, I basically said, I will take you to see it, but I don't know if you're going to like it though, because there's a lot of work. You know, you guys are just starting out, you have little kids, and it's probably going to be too much money. I didn't want to tell them the truth because back then we didn't do that because, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with my realtor. She's seeing dead people. I wouldn't go. But anyway, so again, that is called an imprint. And that's why with some people, if you've been to Gettysburg, you will actually see, you'll see things. You will see, oh, horrible things. There's one, I think it's called Devil's Den. Oh, that's horrible. Like, I know when I go over there, I can smell like gunfire, blood, and it's a horrible feeling to the point where I get sick. So I can't go there. Or if I do, but for those of you who do like the, you know, the ghosting, just be careful. Keep yourself safe. Always, always have your protection first. And with your protection, Archangel Michael, head honcho, will definitely keep you safe. Just always be careful. And that goes for everything and anything. Okay, so, and that is about it. But remember to stay focused in the light. Just stay in the light. Just that's all I ask. Stay in the light. And no fear. No fear. And it is priceless. It is so priceless to know that you're loved so much. You're like so loved. That's like the best. That's the best feeling in the world. Be kind, laugh. You know, there's always two sides. Sometimes there's three sides to a story or to something happening. Don't jump on the bandwagon of like being against people. Listen to what somebody has to say and pick and choose your battles. You know, there's some things Just not worth it. And I do want to, hello, Miss Kim. I do want to just kind of close on one thing because I'm like running over. But today I saw something on what's it called? X, that used to be Twitter, right? And I saw something very nice, nicely written by Biden. And I thought, wow, that's very nice. It was nice. The words, he was like congratulating Trump and saying very nice things. And I thought, wow, that's nice. And apparently the Carters also, and not the Carters, the Clintons reaching out and, and saying, hey, congratulations. So it's like, it feels like the politicians themselves are trying to make peace. But, well, to finish that first thought, though, so I read that from Biden and I thought, that's really nice. That's way to go. But what somebody say? Right underneath. Well, it's because of you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. But when do we stop? It's like, are we always going to be punished for things that we've done, like over and over again? And I'm not making little of anything big. I promise you I'm not. But let's all let's start to get along. We have so many problems in this world. But if we all work together, we could be kick ass. Make a good difference. But anyway, on that's my preaching for the evening. You guys, thank you so much for joining me live tonight. And for those that are going to be replaying, I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit like, subscribe, and leave me a message. And also, don't forget, you can leave a message like if you want something, any recommendations that you would have for a show. After this, I'm going to do the messages for the week. I'm going to do that tonight. So you'll be able to come back and listen to that. On that note, I love you all so very, very much. And tell me too what you think about, like, do you like the angel light workers or the black sheep? Love you all. Good night.